The average mom checks social media 15 times a day. And research shows the more time we spend there, the higher our stress hormones climb. We're scrolling for connection and ending up anxious, guilty, and overstimulated instead. I didn't think that was me because I wasn't even on Instagram. But Pinterest, that was my trap. It really doesn't matter what platform you're on. The truth is pretty simple. The more you compare, the less you enjoy your own life. I would spend time every day relaxing by scrolling through everyone else's beautiful kitchens and meals, basically perfect lives. And then I would look around at my reality and feel pretty underwhelmed or sometimes overwhelmed, depending on the day. And now I spend almost no time scrolling anywhere. And I've actually tapped into the most fun, joyful motherhood that I could have ever imagined. Seriously, when people would ask me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I would always say a mom and a piano teacher, because my piano teacher was a stay-at-home mom, and I just thought that would be the life, right? That is the dream. Being home, raising kids, that has always been the dream. But for a few years there, it felt like the opposite, a legitimate nightmare. And it sounds so harsh, so sad to admit that out loud. Am I the only one who has felt like that? I was so exhausted, so overwhelmed, and constantly coming up short. It turns out it wasn't motherhood draining me, it was everything I was comparing it to. So I want to show you why social media feels so good in the moment, but secretly drains the joy right out of motherhood. And more importantly, how to get that joy back, and your energy for that matter. By the way, I'm Cassie. I'm a certified life coach and mom. I have 3 kids, they're ages 5 to 11, and I help moms find confidence so that they can actually enjoy their kids and their calling again. I do have a free masterclass coming soon that you won't want to miss. If you have ever wondered why it is so hard to just stop scrolling, it's not because you have no self-control. It's because your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. So in college, I studied human development, wanted to be a mom, and so surely that would prepare me best for that. So you would think I would understand my brain better than I did because of that. But then motherhood hit, and suddenly I was constantly chasing these tiny hits of relief. I didn't want to feel tired. I didn't want to feel lonely or overstimulated. And so I would grab my phone for this quick scroll just to rest, right? And it did feel good for about 30 seconds, but then I would lose track of time usually, and somehow instead of feeling recharged, I would feel even more drained than before. That's the motivational triad at work. Your brain wants to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. Those 3 things make up the motivational triad. That's what we call it in coaching. Social media hits all 3 of those perfectly. It's easy, so no energy. It distracts from discomfort, so it avoids pain. And it gives a quick dopamine hit, which is the pleasure aspect. The problem, it's fake relief. It's the equivalent of eating, let's say, cotton candy. Don't know why that popped into my mind. I don't like cotton candy. My kids think it is super cool though. So let's say it's like eating cotton candy when your soul actually just needs some protein. You get this quick rush and then a crash. Have you noticed that when you're scrolling? So we think we're taking a break, but really we're feeding our exhaustion. Let me show you how that very sneaky pattern plays out in mom life every single day. The same thing that's making social media feel comforting is the exact same thing that's quietly draining the joy right out of your motherhood. When I was home with littles all day, I'm not really in that boat anymore, but I was home with my little ones all day, and I really craved something easy. A scroll here, a few pins there. It really did feel like a break from the noise, but I didn't realize how much it was shaping my brain because I started to expect my life to look like these perfect pins that I was really just soaking in. And my life looked very different in comparison. I would really look at my things. So my kitchen table, oh my gosh. So I should show you guys. It's getting these like little bubbles, I guess, where people have left water maybe sitting. Anyway, doesn't look so great. I would see that and I would suddenly feel like I was behind on, let's say, a DIY project that I did not want to take on at all. Or I'd see another mom's really creative sensory bins and think, oh, cool, I guess I'm failing at that too. Like, I had no idea I should be doing that, but apparently I should be doing that. What I thought was giving me a break was actually rewiring my brain to believe that I was always behind. And that's the downside of the motivational triad. It keeps you in survival mode. You're constantly seeking comfort instead of growth. You're tapped out with your daily responsibilities so much that you can't even think about having fun, with or without your family. You're avoiding discomfort instead of processing it. Your scrolling is the epitome of the buffering that we talk about. When you're giving into that motivational triad, which is very natural, by the way. None of this means there's anything wrong with you. You just have a human brain. We all do. We all have these urges. And so when you're scrolling, you're conserving energy in all the wrong places. And as moms, that looks like scrolling instead of connecting, or overthinking instead of creating, maybe comparing instead of living. Social media promises ease, but what it really gives you is this low-grade exhaustion and the sense that your real life is never quite enough. And that's why joy is not a trend. Deep, lasting joy is part of the human experience. That emotion can never come from trends or chasing what's popular at the moment. That's never going to get you there to that true joy that you're really looking for. But here's the good news. When it comes to your energy, that energy that is draining, right? It's not lost, it's just misplaced. And when you pull it out of the scroll and back into your real life, the difference is pretty remarkable. Every minute you spend comparing your life to what's online is energy that could be breathing life back into your actual life. So like I said, Pinterest was my guilty pleasure. That's just what it was. So often during nap times or after bedtime, that's what I would do. I like to look at all kinds of things, and it was a fun hobby. It was something I felt like was helping me, helping my family, because it was giving me all kinds of good ideas, and it was, I don't know. I justified it in a lot of different ways, but really it was a habit. It became a habit. That's just how I would spend my downtime. But as my world was crumbling around me during divorce, this was several years ago, and I was selling that dream home that we had built, and I was essentially saying goodbye to this life that I had been curating from all those pins, by the way, I decided to take a break from Pinterest. And no more looking, no more just checking something really quick or trying this new search term. I just decided to be done. I honestly didn't have the bandwidth at that point anymore. I was really needing to invest everything into other things as my life was exploding. And I just wanted to see what happened as I kind of stuck with that, as I got out of that very huge life change. I continued that forward of not looking at Pinterest. I wanted to see what would happen if I stopped trying to make my life look perfectly inspiring and I just let it be my life. And it was wild. So I've carried that through now. Like I don't spend all of my time there, and my brain feels calmer. My house feels more peaceful. My budget is definitely thanking me because I don't feel the need to go out and buy new things to achieve this new look or to just, fix something up. My rhythms are staying consistent and sustainable instead of trying to fix things that aren't even broken. Do you do that? Like you see this new idea and you think, oh my gosh, I need to do that. Even if whatever you're currently doing that takes very low energy is working. That's what I'm saying. We're using our energy where we're kind of misplacing our energy because our sustainable, normal baseline, that's when we can actually have energy for other things because we've figured things out. We don't need to constantly be figuring new things out. So my energy is back. I love my home, as modest as it is. Like, it's not because it got prettier. but it just feels lighter. And that's the power of redirecting your energy. When you stop chasing fake pleasure and actually just start choosing real presence in your real life, the life that's right in front of you, the kids that are right in front of you, your brain can reset. You get back this focus to laugh and play and actually just enjoy your life. You start realizing that joy was never missing. It was just buried under constant comparison. And spiritually, that's when you really finally make peace to make the space to feel God again, because his voice doesn't compete with the noise. It just is going to wait for the quiet. Not all inspiration is good inspiration, and that realization was very eye-opening to me. Every spare minute I was filling with inspiration. It was inspiration. Seriously, I love Pinterest. I could scroll through those Nordic interiors and minimalist capsule wardrobes all day long, but honestly, it wasn't the right inspiration. The scrolling wasn't guiding me toward confidence in myself. It wasn't helping me understand my kids' unique personalities better. It wasn't teaching me how to step out of mom mode and actually just enjoy them as a person. I told myself that saving that entryway pin or having that healthy recipe in my back pocket was really productive. But honestly, it was drowning out God's inspiration for me personally. And in the process, I was drowning out my very nature. He made me the way he did on purpose. And he's already equipped me with everything my kids need. My quirks, my strengths, my way of loving them. When you stop trying to find better inspiration out there, you make space for the really divine kind, the kind that already lives inside you and actually gives you energy instead of draining it. Your way, not the Instagram mom's way, but your way, is sustainable. It's what frees up the time and energy to have fun in motherhood again. That's when it starts feeling very peaceful again, not because you finally arrived at the world standard and everything is perfect and you have all the latest things, but because you're finally living the version of motherhood that God designed, not the one the internet is trying to sell you. And that's what I want for every single mom, to stop scrolling for the right way and just start trusting themselves. Start trusting that God already gave you everything you need. You don't have to quit social media forever. You just have to stop letting it live your life for you. And when I stopped doing that and I stepped away from the constant noise, I started noticing all the moments I'd been missing. My kids laughing in the next room, opening the curtains every single morning, and just feeling like the new fresh day. I love that. Even the joy of putting the kitchen to bed, which used to feel like a chore, but now it feels meaningful. And it's because I'm not trying to perfect motherhood anymore. I'm just finally living it. And all that energy that you've been spending into scrolling, all that time, you can get it back. You can pour it into your home, your faith, your confidence, and it will multiply in ways that you can't even fathom. You don't need to become a different kind of mom. You just need to uncover the way God already designed you to do this. And if you're ready to do that, to find peace and confidence in your own way, even in the middle of meals and messes and meltdowns, come join me in my free masterclass that tells you exactly how I finally found confidence as a mom without doing more or being someone else. You are doing amazing, and I'll see you soon.